Hi students, good afternoon everybody. So I'm back here to take you the next class of perioperative nursing care. So before starting my class, I want to share you a tip. So daily drink some hot water so that if any infection is there in your throat, it will be subside. And yeah, I hope you understand my last class. So today I'll take pre-operative. See, yesterday we have discussed that phases of perioperative nursing, isn't it? So what are the phases? I already told you three phases. That is pre-operative, intraoperative, and post-operative nursing. So in detail, today onwards we will be discussing in detail about the each phase. What is pre-operative and what is the nursing care in that pre-operative, and what is intraoperative and what is the nursing care in that intraoperative period, and what is post-operative and what is the nursing care in that period to the surgery clients. So in that now I'll start about the pre-operative phase. So pre-operative, see after my class I'll send you the PPT notes so that it will be easily understand for you. Now what is pre-operative phase? I told you yesterday the pre-operative phase begins with the decision to perform the surgery. So at the time taken for the decision taken for the surgery, the time when the time taken to perform the surgery continues until the client has reached the operation room. So yesterday I told you the definition of same thing. So in the exams they may ask you about write perioperative nursing and write in detail about pre or any, in these three things they'll ask you in any one thing, either it may be pre or intra or post. Okay, so it is very important topic for you, so read thoroughly. Okay, what is pre-operative nursing? So pre-operative nursing is the time begins when the surgery is planned and from that time continues until the patient or the client has shifted to the operation theatre. So and next, role of nurse in the perioperative phase. So I told you, this is the unit that deals with the perioperative nursing care. So who will give the nursing care? Automatically the nurse. So what is the role of a nurse in pre-operative phase? So the first thing is, and I already told you, anywhere in the nursing field, the first most procedure or first most thing is assessment. So here also same thing. So pre-operative assessment, before going to the surgery, what we have to assess in the patient. Okay, next thing is obtaining the consent, obtaining the informed consent. These are the side headings. The first side heading is pre-operative assessment and next side heading is obtaining informed consent. Okay, so we have to take some consent with the patient as well as with the relatives also. So if anything happened wrong, it is not responsible for the doctors or any hospital. So that is the consent form. So usually you will all know that later. And third one is pre-operative teaching. So what you have to teach, in what segments you have to teach, and that is third one. And fourth one is physical preparation of the patient. So you have to physically prepare the patient, and next thing is psychological preparation of the patient. See, as the physical, how much it is important, the physical, same way the psychological aspect is also that much important, because if the patient is psychologically fit, if the patient is psychologically accept his condition and accept his surgery, then the recovery will be very good. Otherwise the recovery will be poor. The fear will kill the person than the disease. So psychologically also you have to prepare the patient as well as the family member. So these are the common roles of the nurse or the functions of a nurse. In which phase? Pre-operative phase. What is the first thing? You have to assess the pre-operative assessment of the client, obtaining the consent form, pre-operative teaching, then physical preparation, and finally psychological preparation. In this first pre-operative assessment. So what is pre-operative assessment? What you will do in this assessment? The first thing is you have to collect the history. Okay, client history. So past history as well as present history. What is the present problems? What is the past problems? Is there any surgeries before done? Is there any drug allergies? Is there any health problems? Okay, or any daily he is taking any medications or not? Okay, for any diseases like hypertension, BP. So these are long term diseases which the patient will have. So you have to collect all this history and also any allergies. Okay, and it may be drug or it may be food or it may be any allergy. So you have to ask about the complete history of the patient. In the complete history, health history especially, not personal history, health history, here we will be collecting all the things. So what is the client condition now and vitals, everything is comes in the health history. And next thing is review the pre-operative laboratory and diagnostic studies. So before surgery, every hospital will have some protocol that the patient should undergo some diagnostic tests like viral screening for HIV, HBsC, and also complete blood picture count, and what is blood grouping, and some of the diagnostic tests will be there. And regarding the surgery part also, they will be go for a scanning how the problem, for example take appendicitis, so they will be scanning the abdominal area for appendicitis, how much it is, where it is, how much the severity. So everything they will be going through scanning also, and along with the scanning they will be do some pre-surgical tests. Okay, and also some anesthesia test also they will be giving for knowing the allergy of the anesthesia, whether it is okay or not. So they will be testing the things, and laboratory studies also they will be taking all these things about viral screening, HB, WBC, everything, total all RBC count, everything they will be collecting that pre-laboratory diagnostic studies. And also they will be taking the regarding the particular part where the surgery is going, that scanning also they will be take before doing the surgery. And next thing is you in the pre-operative assessment only you have to do another thing is assess the physical needs of the patient, because before surgery the patient and the family members are in a very fear, tensed and depressed mood, isn't it or not? See, in our thing also it will be happened. If we are having any surgery in our family members, and to see how much fear we have so much tensed. Okay, so same thing, and we have so many doubts in our brain, all doubts are going on, how it happened, why it happened. So you will be somewhat in a depression state and fearful state. So same thing, the patient and the family also in the same position. So you are the person, first of all you have to know about the physical needs of the patient. So what is her physical need now? Okay, is there any problem to the body at now? Is there any pain? Okay, is there anything? Otherwise what the patient need now, food or anything, so rest or anything, sleep, anything comes under the physical need. And next thing is psychological need. So in this psychological need we will be including the two members, patient and along with the patient family members also will come in this psychological need. So how you will be prepare the patient psychologically means the first thing is the nurse should talk freely. Okay, the nurse should explain freely about the surgical procedure, and also if any doubts are there, so she should clear all the doubts regarding the surgery. Okay, so that the first of all the nurse has to maintain good relationship with the patient. We already discussed in the communication chapter. So that all should be included here. అక్కడ మనం నేర్చుకున్నది ఇక్కడ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయాలి. So we have to gain trust in the patient. So they have to listen your words, and they can, so you are the nurse will clear all the doubts, and the nurse should give knowledge regarding the surgery and with some examples. See, don't worry, daily so many surgeries will be going on like this. The doctor is very nice, so they'll treat you very nice. So like that you have to explain them clearly. And next thing is for the family members also you have to tell them, and along with that you have to tell them after surgical care also to the family members, because the patient cannot go and do his work immediately after the surgery, even his personal. So the family members are the responsible to take care of the patient. So the family members has to teach clearly about the post-operative care also. Okay, and also you have to clear the doubts of the family members, sit and talk with them, so that they will be get the knowledge and some confidence regarding the surgery, and they'll prepare themselves. Okay, and next thing is assess the cultural needs. So what is a culture? Their belief. Okay, the tradition, their tradition and their beliefs. So you have to see, if they want to do any prayer before the surgery, let them do some prayer. If they want to allow some any doing any prayer persons under, let them allow and do the prayers for them. So like this you have to see about their culturally also, and you have to respect their culture needs, and you have to provide them their beliefs. Okay, and next thing is, so I told you, so review the laboratory diagnostic studies. So what are the laboratory diagnostic studies? Complete blood count, blood type and cross matching, serum electrolytes, urine analysis, chest x-ray, electrocardiogram, and other tests like virology tests. Okay, and next thing is review the client history. First thing, diagnostic test you are collected. This all comes under the assessment part. Okay, pre-operative assessment part. The first thing is collect all the diagnostic studies I told you, and next second thing is collect the client history regarding the past and present illness, past surgery, and previous any hospitalization. So if he is having any past health problems and any allergies, and present medications, whether he is taking for any other diseases like hypertension or diabetes mellitus, and also he is having any habit of alcohol, tobacco, and all these things. You have to collect the client history. And what about the physical needs? About his vital signs and about his doubts I told you, so you have to talk with them, and you have to check the height and weight of the person, and level of exercises, and also how he is moving now, ability to move, whether he is walking or whether he is doing his own work now, or he need any assistance like that, or any confusion or any drowsiness, any depression. So you have to assess all these things in physical needs. So what are the psychological needs? You in the psychological needs, you have to see the emotional state of the person. So this can be clearly seen when you talk with the client or with the patient. So if you are start talking, they are crying and they are emotionally poor. Okay, they are in depressed state. So in that procedure also you have to take care of the patient psychological need. So you have to tell them about clear picture of the surgery and clear the doubts of the, and also you can give them coping mechanism, how they have to cope up with the this situation. Okay, like any recreations or any some devotional therapies, reading some spiritual books, listening to music. So like that the patient should be in a calm mood before going to surgery. If he is in sensitive mood, again the BP, again the hypertension will rise, again it will cause some delay to the surgery. So this all, and support system you have to give for the patient. Mostly support system for the client or any person is the family. So you have to make the family beside the client only. And next thing is cultural needs. So cultural needs in the sense their beliefs, I told you, God. If they want any spiritually, you will let them go for spiritual. And also if they have any language problem, if they are in other state or other language, so you just try to teach them in their own language only, so that they can understand the problem clearly. This is all comes under the first thing, assessment part. Okay, pre-operative assessment, diagnostic studies, and history, medical present history, and next thing is psychological needs, physical needs, and finally emotional needs, cultural needs, and physical, psychological, and cultural. And next thing is obtaining the informed consent. Second one, after assessment you have to take the consent form of the patient. So how you will take? Before surgery the client must sign, okay, in a consent form that is prepared by the hospital protocol. So client must sign a consent form that risk Okay, in the consent form what it will be there? Nothing. Risk. So if anything happened during the surgical procedure, that is not responsible for the doctors and to the hospital. Like that it will be written in a paper. So the nurse should take that paper to the client. They should take client signature from the client as well as the family members. So when they will keep sign here, if you are make them psychologically fit before assessment, I told you, in that assessment phase only, if you have made them psychologically fit, definitely they will be putting you concern signature very freely. And if the client is younger than 18 years, for example, below 18 years below 18 years person is there for surgery, then take a signature from the guardians or the parents. So in any emergency, so the surgeon have to do procedure ante, so tell them in a telephone or any fax immediately, so that we can't wait until the, for example, a road traffic accident is there, so only one person is there, he's going along with a bike, some accident has happened, so that time we can't wait until the relatives has to come or a family members has to come to keep the sign. So in that you just inform them through the phone and then do the start the procedure settings. And next thing is, so each nurse, the nurse dealing with the concern form or nurse dealing with the surgical part, first of all the nurse should know about the each policy regarding to the surgical concern. Okay, and the rules and regulations of the hospitals regarding that particular surgery, that has to known by the nurse. And next thing is, client must sign the consent form before receiving any sedatives. So before giving sedatives only, before shifting them to operation room only, we have to take sign from the patient. And next thing is, the nurse is responsible for ensuring that all necessary parties, that means guardians or family members are also should be signed in the consent. At least 2 members should sign in the consent form before going to the client room, operation room. This is about the second part, that is taking consent. And next thing is third part, I told you, pre-operative teaching. So what you will be teaching in this aspect? So the pre-operative teaching includes about the, I told you already, surgical procedure. So regarding surgical procedure and expectations before and after surgery. So you have to tell them clearly, amma, appendicitis, infection. So before make surgery chese mundu, you will be having so much of pain. But after surgery, the pain will be reduced, the infection will be reduced. Like that you have to give them the expectations before and after. So you have to compare the situation before and after, so that they can get the clear picture of the surgery. And next thing is, clients are more alert and free of pain at this time. So if you are teaching nicely, if you are teaching at that time, but the client feels more free, isn't it or not? If you are teaching is, if you are maintaining good communication, the client will feel some free about the surgical procedure. And also information in pre-operative teaching plan varies with the type of surgery and length of the hospitalization. So the teaching plan must be, see, every client or every surgery is different, isn't it or not? So according to the surgery, according to the type of surgery, you have to plan your teaching. So appendicitis is a little bit surgery, it's a minor surgery, so you can go a little bit teaching for them. But while coming to the heart surgeries and any other long-term systematic surgeries, and you have to spend more time, and you have to take teaching must be more effective in that cases, because it is a lengthy procedure and lengthy surgery and lengthy hospitalization. So your role is very important in that type of cases. And next thing is pre-operative teaching plan. Yeah, pre-operative teaching plan. So pre-operative teaching plan includes, the first thing is, what is the medication that has to be taken by the client before surgery. Mostly antibiotics they will be give, other than that no surgery, no medications they'll allow to give. And next thing is post-operative pain control, also you have to teach them before only. And discuss the frequency of vital signs. So you have to see the vital signs continuously and explain, and see, you have to explain some of the procedures like deep breathing, coughing. Why? Because during anesthesia time, because of anesthesia, the every system and the person will be in a relaxed state, so that our mucus and saliva will be in the mouth only, they will be causing some disturbances, congestion in the throat area. So you have to teach them about the deep breathing exercises and coughing exercises after the surgery. And next thing is you have to do the spirometry. Spirometry is nothing but it is a one type of breathing exercise where we have a jars and the balls inside. So if they'll be having some pipe, so they have to blow the air through the pipe so that the ball will be moving upside. So that is called spirometry disease. So spirometry exercise. And next thing is how to support the incision of breathing exercises and moving. So how to move their body after surgery, and how to take breathing after the surgery, and position changes, and leg exercises, feet exercises, and everything you have to be seen in the pre-operative teaching plan. And also about some tubings, any tubings if they are having like NG tube, IV lines, everything you have to explain. Why? Because after post-operative definitely they will be putting in the NG and the IV lines. So at that time the patient won't feel more tensed. Okay. So before only you have to teach them clearly. And next thing is you have to prepare and the fourth one is physical preparation of the patient. So in this aspect, the first thing is you have to see nutrition and the fluids. So how in the pre-operative preparation includes the following areas. The first thing is nutrition. So you have to see what is the nutritional level of the client, he is okay or not. And next thing is elimination, whether he is going for urine and the bowel movements regularly. And next thing is hygienic. It is more important because the patient should be free from any infections, and after the post-operative also he should free from infection. Kabatti the hygiene will be most important in that part. And next thing is medications, pre and post, what are the medications they have to take, that you have to clearly explain to the client. And next thing is sleep. So the patient has to sleep before the surgery time, because sleeping will relax you more, isn't it? The sleeping will decreases your anxiety and the depression. So let them sleep the patient for 8 hours. And say care of valuables. So you have to care valuables. So you all know that before going to surgery, so the patient will be removing all the things. If any females and they will be having the chain and earrings like that. So you have to take care of all their valuables and you have to return back to their family members. And next thing is prosthesis. Prosthesis I will tell you, and surgical skin preparation, special orders, anything is there, safety protocols, vital signs and antibiotics. These are the physical preparation of the patient. Nutrition, elimination, hygiene, medication, sleep, care of valuable, prosthesis, special orders, surgical skin, safety protocol, vital signs and medication. Now the first thing is nutrition. So what is nutrition? So adequate hydration should be there for the patient, isn't it or not? So before going to surgery, the patient should have enough amount of water in their body, and nutrition is also promote healing. So the patient should be well nutrited before going to surgery. And also usually before, what is the main thing you have to follow? The patient should be from the night onwards. If the patient is posted for surgery tomorrow, and then from the night onwards the patient should be in NPO, nothing per oral, or NBM, nothing by mouth. Okay, the patient should be in a nothing per oral, because if anything eating under that may interfere with the bowel and gastric during the surgery time due to fear. So that we are keeping the patient before only, so nothing per oral. So because, and also the danger of having the vomiting during the surgery also, that's why we are keeping the empty stomach before the surgery. And next thing is, so if the patient want to see, most of the patients can hold their hunger, but some people, some old age or some children, they can't wait for that much time. But we have some considerations here. So if they want to take clear liquids and up before 2 hours, we can give them up to 2 hours. Before 2 hours we can give them little bit fluids. And next thing is, if the baby, if the patient is a baby or a kid, then they can give a breast milk before 4 hours of the surgery. And next thing is before 6 hours of the surgery they can take a little bit light food like idli, like breakfast, tea, bread, toast, like that you can give before 6 hours. And heavy meal should not be there. So if they want to eat heavy meals, that heavy meal should be before 8 hours only. Okay, there should be gap of the 8 hours before going to the surgery. These are the guidelines. The first thing is nutritional need is okay. Now coming to bowel and bladder. You all know that before any surgery they will be giving enema. Okay, enema means nothing but they will be cleaning our stomach completely without any waste products in the intestines and the stomach, so that it may not interfere during the surgical time. And next thing is prior to surgery, so they will be putting some catheter, isn't it or not, indwelling Foley catheter to pass out their urine. And this help to see why means after the surgery the patient can't go immediately, the patient can't wake up immediately and to go for a washroom. So that we will be keeping one catheter to collect the all things. And next thing is hygiene. In the physical preparation, the next thing is hygiene. So mostly before surgery they can clients are asked to bath in the evening session only. Okay, if they are morning they are going for surgery, in the night time only they can take a bath and nicely sleep. And I already told you the hygiene should maintain. Why? To prevent the infections pre and post operatively. And also the client should be trimmed their nails, and there should not be any cosmetics and nail polish, everything should be removed, and the nail bed, skin, lips and are visible. So we should not do any, there should not be any makeup in their faces also before going to the surgery part. And next thing is preoperative medication. So what medications should the patient has to take? Mostly preoperative medications commonly used are antiemetics. Why? Because of anesthesia they may have some gastric problems. So we can give antiemetics and sedatives and antibiotics and anticholinergics. What is anticholinergics? Are nothing but these are hypertension controllers. Okay, they will be putting your BP in a normal way. So these are the medications that you can give. And next thing is sleep. Slow the sleep. I told you, no, the sleep will decreases our depression and anxiety. So the patient has to sleep before the surgery. But you all will get one doubt, madam, surgery, how the patient will get sleep, isn't it or not? So that time we have to give one alprazolam or any sedative drug, so that the patient can take medication and nicely sleep in the night time. So adequate sleep will be healing. They will be reducing the stress and it will be useful them in a healing process. And last thing is care of valuables. So I told you, no, mostly the family we have to take all the jewelry and we have to give to the patient relatives. Otherwise, if any relatives are not available, you only keep them in a safety locker and their locker only, and keep a lock and keep it with you until they have come back and give it to them. And next thing is care of prostheses. Prostheses are nothing but these are the devices that is outsidely we are giving to the patient. For example, dentures. Dentures means pettudu pallu antam kada avi. So kontamandi patients ki they will be having the dentures and also some lenses, contact lenses, and some people will have artificial limbs, isn't it? Pettudu kallu, chekka kallu antaru kada avi untayi. So these all are comes under the prosthesis. So that should be, some people will be having the eyelashes, isn't it? Some people eyelashes, and some people will have wigs. So everything all comes under the artificial body parts. So outsidely we are giving them for the body. So alantivi evaithe unnayo, you have to take care of that prosthesis also. And next thing is special orders. So is there any special, before sending them to the operation theatre, so you have to see any special order is given by the doctors. For example, insertion of NG tube, insertion of Foley catheter, or giving such medications like insulin. If the patient is a diabetic, is there any order for giving insulin before surgery? And any anti-embolysis. Anti-embolytic means during surgery time there may be chance of bleeding and also blood clotting. So that clotting should be not there, then we can give them anti-embolytics. So like that. So is there any order from the surgeon? First of all you have to see the special orders, then only you have to send them to the surgical room. And next, final, skin preparation. So how you will do skin preparation? If it is a abdomen area, clean the abdominal area completely with the antibiotic solution. So remove all the any hair particles are there, shave the area completely and clean that antiseptic solution. And next thing is safety protocols. So these safety protocols includes identifying the patient. This is very much important. Now mostly you will be seen in the government sectors. Avuna patient bed మారిపోయారు, IP number మారిపోయింది, ఒక patient తీసుకెళ్ళబోయి ఇంకో patient తీసుకెళ్లారు, isn't it or not? So and also wrong surgery will be going on. So these are all the mistakes that will be usually going on before for the surgeries. So that should be safety. You have to see the safety protocol, whether the patient name is correct, whether the patient ID is correct. This you have to ask the patient or relatives whether they are going for surgery, same surgery or not. Like that you have to see, and all surgical site marking also should be there clearly, so that we can be avoid confusions in that manner. And vital signs. Finally, you have to see the vital signs of the patient. For you all know vital signs. What is that? BP, temperature, pulse, everything you have to see. Heart rate, respiration, see clearly. And next thing is, so any elastic stockings, so anti-embolic stockings. So that means if any, they have to wear free elastic hose that compresses the veins of the lungs. Why? Because they will be giving this elastic things and they may be facilitate the return of the venous blood to the heart. So there కింద ఎలాస్టిక్స్ ఫిమ్గా మనం లెగ్స్కి కనుక వేస్తే ద రిటర్న్ ఆఫ్ ద హార్ట్ బ్లడ్ వెసల్ అనేది ఈజీగా జరుగుతుంది కాబట్టి దెర్ విల్ బి స్టాకింగ్స్ వీ కెన్ గివ్ ఫర్ ద పేషెంట్. అండ్ see we have I will give you the notes. In that we will be having the checklist for the pre-operative patient. You just go through that. So in the hospitals how they are taking in a form, application form, so that you can clearly understood. So this is a pre-operative phase. So if they in the exam part, if they ask you about write in detail about pre-operative phase, you have to write all these things. Along with this you have to write nursing diagnosis also for this pre-operative phase. Mostly any surgical thing there will be one diagnosis called anxiety, isn't it? Anxiety related to the result of surgery. And next thing is knowledge deficit related to surgical procedure. Okay, you can write. And risk for infection. So these are also included in the examination part to get you a good marks. Okay, this is about, thank you, and this is about the pre-operative nursing. In the next class we will be discuss about the intraoperative nursing. Okay, so thank you guys. So I hope you understand my class. Okay, see you tomorrow.